Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Game Pass. I'm Nathan and today I'm going to tell you if this Game Pass game is worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Outlast 2. Enter a blood-soaked village populated by a cult of crazy doomsday Jesus freaks who kidnap your wife and want you dead. Can you outlast the night? Outlast 2 is an Xbox and PC cross-release. There are no cross features between the two, however, they don't talk at all, and the PC has no chivos. The game is enhanced for 1x for 4K and improved frame rate, and the game lasts about 6 to 7 hours. So what exactly is Outlast 2? Well, it's a horror stealth game with an emphasis on showing you spooky stuff and guiding you through essentially a theme park of scares. You play as Blake, a cameraman working with your wife Lynn. After your chopper crashes in Arizona, a cult led by Sullivan Noth kidnaps Lynn and leaves you for dead. You'll have to sneak, slink, and walk your way through several spooky areas to eventually save her, all while horrible, grotesque, and violent things keep happening around you. The main gimmick is the camera, which has a night vision so you can see in the dark, as well as an audio sensor which you can use to either eavesdrop on people or use to locate them for stealth segments. Be warned though, the camera has a limited number of batteries, so you can't rely on it all the time. Most of this game will be used sneaking around, finding buttons or levers to open access to the next area, or chasing, which is where you have to navigate areas as fast as possible to escape. There's no weapons, just running and sneaking is the name of the game here, all while avoiding getting killed and or spooked to death. So what do I like about Outlast 2? Well, some moments in this game are really scary. The night vision on the camera is a really effective visual tool, especially there's a scene early on where I was looking out into the woods and I didn't think there was anything out there, and I turned the night vision on and I saw a bunch of glowing eyes of villagers out there and they slowly backed away. That actually genuinely got me. That was pretty friggin' scary. So good work on using the camera as a tool. The game is also very violent and messed up in ways gore horror fans will appreciate. This game is grotesque and violent and all sorts of crazy. And lastly, I really liked using audio on the camcorder for the stealth segments. I had never seen that done before, and it was really cool to kind of use that to orientate myself with the enemies and be able to sneak around them effectively. That being said, when we're moving on to the bad, the stealth I found really inconsistent. There's no real indicator to know if you're being spotted or if you've been seen, and it's really hard to know whether you're hidden or not, which led to a lot of deaths that felt very unfair. The game's edginess also is over the top in terms of gore, nudity, and sexual themes. It feels like it would actually be a pretty good 80s trash B-movie, but they play it too straight. It's not fun, and so it just makes it to kind of feel a bit sleazy to me. Some people will still enjoy it, but for me it felt a little crass. And lastly, the gameplay ends up being fairly repetitive, with only the areas really changing and the basic mechanics of stealth staying the same throughout. Now, as you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale. Must play, maybe consider, don't bother. Outlast 2 is definitely a maybe consider. It's an okay horror game, but I'll be honest, it's not one that I particularly loved. It had some genuinely great ideas for the horror genre, most of them involving the camcorder and the stealth elements involving the camcorder being a standout, but the inconsistency of the stealth and the general repetitiveness left me kind of more bored than scared by the time I got to the end. Paired with the game's constant attempt to be over the top in everything it did, I found it to be a really solid and great horror experience in some parts, mostly when it was restrained, and really cringy in others. I do think it's still worth checking out if that sounds like your jam, but I also feel like games like Visage, Alien Isolation, and Resident Evil 4 can provide you with superior first-person horror experiences if that's what you want. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and go out there and enjoy Outlast 2.